This program is produced by Eagle Mountain Apostolic Resource Center. To find additional episodes of this program, as well as other content, visit eaglemountain.tv. This program is about stewarding the word God has given. It's about putting apostolic feet to prophetic hope. It's our mission to purposefully equip the world to transform their regions with God's love. We want to create an atmosphere of divine influence to the nations by walking in the power of His Holy Spirit with the faith that shapes the future. Welcome to Inside the Ark.
Hey guys, welcome to Inside the Ark, where we take a deep dive into the messages that are shared on Sundays. And today we have Prudence, Chris, and Bobby, and myself here to go into a message that Bobby, you spoke this message, and it was titled "Why Worship." Now, the notes or the link to this message are in our show notes. So if you want to watch that message, I encourage you to do so. But Bobby, just kind of set us up. There was a prophetic word that you shared. Talk to us about that prophetic word.
I'm just going to read it because it's timeless and it needs to be shouted over people. So just receive this. The whole church is being invited into a new season. We are being invited to leave the past and cross over into promise. God says, I am turning your compromise into promise. Compromise has C-O-M and then the word promise after it. I'm turning your compromise into promise. I'm turning wanting and waiting into worship. My eyes have seen your wandering and wondering, and I am leading you into worship. Come and give me your all in worship, and I will turn your trial into triumph. I will turn your devastation into dancing. I will cause the sun to shine on your darkest days, and the shadows of fear will disappear. I am turning your struggle into strength and your second guessing into assurance. Your winepress season has produced a vine-dressed reason to celebrate. You are ready to worship. I am shaking all things. I am stirring my church to worship, and the sound of worship is causing a realignment in the spirit. The shock waves of worship are covering a war-torn heart and a war-torn nation. I am bringing you back to me. Worship is the key to seeing, and seeing is the key to being. You will find your rest when you worship with your best. You will find your peace when you surrender and release yourself in worship. No more holding back, holding on, or holding up. I am moving forward, and you must not stay behind, pressing rewind on the tapes of the past. Your worship will thrust you to get out ahead of what I am doing, just in time to throw down the palm branches and celebrate. It's time to celebrate.
Come on.
Wow. What an amazing word. And I just always liked you. This is kind of a deep dive behind the scenes. How did you get that word? Did it come in like a dream? Was it a vision? Like, how did it come?
He subscribed to jesusatgod.com.
Yeah.
I was worshiping one morning, and all of a sudden it came out like a rhyme, almost like a song.
Yeah.
And I knew, okay, now this is not what I would normally sing. I'm going to start writing it down. And once I did, and I knew it was a word, I just got in flow and didn't think about it and let it come. And then later on, I looked at it and I was like, okay. I was stirred up in song that morning, and it came out sort of like a poem, like a song.
That's rad.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I always love to know, because, sometimes people are, they think, ooh, well, Bobby will get something like that. But you know what? Yeah. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah.
God uses all of us to share and to communicate things at different times. One of the things that you mentioned was every new season. You talked about the seasons, and how does someone define a season in their life? Like, what's the breakdown of a season? How have you defined seasons in your life? Is it like a timeline? Is it an experience? What does that look like? I mean, there's seasons of being a parent.
Yeah.
So that's a time frame.
I can tell the seasons by when Prudence changes her hairstyle. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, that is a thing. No, I feel like for me, this is when significant shifts happen in my thinking or what's happening in my life. And I kind of mark those off. I was thinking something you said earlier too. You said statues, not statues. Monuments of emotion. Like when a monument of emotion or a monument of something that God is speaking or doing is like implanted on the journey of my brain, right? Mm-hmm. That monument, that's like a season marker for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What about
awesome.
you?
How about you, Prudence?
Yeah, I think life changes for me is season changes. So, there's just different things that we're all moving through, and when doors close on things and new ones open, that always signifies to me that something new is beginning. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like a garden season.
That's awesome.
So it's going to sleep for the winter, and now next year we're going to grow some new things.
Right.
So
that is so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I just love hearing it because I know some people are like, well, I don't like look at my life as a seasonal thing, that there's seasons in it, but truly there are.
Yeah.
And times and seasons for different rhythms to take place in our lives. Just like you said, the winter is the season, if you think of the fall, spring, summer, winter, that type of a season, that can be a symbol of a season in our life as well. But one thing that you mentioned, Bobby, in the message was that every new season is meant to elevate your worship. Your new season is tied to a new revelation of God.
Yeah, that's right.
So then does every season, is it meant for you to have a revelation?
Yeah, I think that's really what brings the new season is a revelation of God. It's not just a, wow, that was over. I think your revelation of God is actually the apex of the new season. Now for Becky and me, and if you're thinking sort of, wait a minute, the prophet lives this way, and the prophet goes, God is asking me to live in a new season before it actually manifests. They're constantly living 2, 3, 5, and 10 years in advance. And so your new season can't be measured by what's happening in the natural.
Okay.
Because you're out in front of it and you're breaking things open, and the new season, it feels like you're out of time. Always.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like when Elijah went up to the hill, and while he was praying and putting his head between his knees, praying for rain and the drought to end, he had already told everyone else, go celebrate. I know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And all he needed was, I heard the sound, in the spirit kind of thing. And then while they were celebrating, he did what the prophet does, and that is to continue praying, knowing, gosh, I just told those guys to celebrate.
Better make it happen right now.
Someone needs to carry this thing out. Yeah. And so sometimes you're up on the hill while everyone else is celebrating. You're in advance and it feels like you're out of time. So for you who feel that way, that's partly too how you can get used to in the spirit measuring season shifts before they actually manifest.
Awesome.
I mean, somebody always has to be, out of time. Society will never go anywhere with any new invention, technology, season, new era. It doesn't matter. Like it can never go without someone kind of being brave enough to go first. Yeah. So there'll always be someone that feels out of time. So when you're feeling that, and I think this is what I am hearing you say is, evaluate that that's not actually what's happening a lot of the time. Maybe you're forerunning something that God is wanting to do. So if you stop, then you're going to actually botch up the time.
That's right.
Right? Because if you were called to be the forerunner, but you're like, whoa, hold it. No one else is out here yet. I better go back. Now a new leader has to be raised up to lead into that next thing.
100%. Had all of the people in the Old Testament not done what they were supposed to when they were supposed to do it, it would have pushed the timeline back of the coming of the Christ. Yeah. And so the Bible says he came at the fullness of time. And so all of those guys in the Old Testament, it says they went through what they went through as an example on us, on whom the ends of the ages have come.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there, Hebrews says, as the great cloud of witnesses now, and what they begun is not fulfilled apart from us. So we're linked.
We're connected.
Us now and them.
Wow.
But they're forerunners for us going, you're welcome. Because of what we did, honestly, and it's because they were walking something out that was prophetic for us. We're now drinking from a well we didn't dig.
It's the firstborn. It's got to forerun the curfew times with parents so that the younger brothers and sisters get to stay up later.
You're welcome.
Right. Bobby, you said in this word, your wine press season has produced a vine-dressed reason to celebrate. What does that mean?
Gideon in the wine press, he was called a mighty man of valor while he was hiding. And God said, I just need to speak something over you because you're not there yet. I'm going to speak into your future and I'm going to call you a mighty man of valor. And Gideon's like, I'm so scared right now. Why are you referring to me as a mighty man of valor? And so thank God that he, in our wine press season of fear, of second guessing ourselves, of insecurity, it gives us a vine dress reason to celebrate. And a vine dresser is one who goes and dresses the vine when they're at full bloom.
Okay.
And
meaning they're cutting off the grapes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're preparing for harvest.
Okay.
And so when the wine press, when it seems like nothing's growing, well, your celebration and your wine press season of pressing through when you feel like you're zero will actually set you up to be the vine dresser in moments of harvest. Yep. Keep on keeping on, keep on going through.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Okay. So the next part I want to highlight here is worship is the key to seeing. Seeing is the key to being. And so what I get out of that is, when we worship, we're doing that single focus on who we worship.
Right.
And as we behold him, we become like him. That's the being.
Oh, right.
That's really
right.
Yeah.
That's really good.
What does it take for you guys? What do you see when you're in that place of beholding him? What does it look like for you to behold him in worship, to see him in worship? What have you guys encountered or experienced?
For me, I like the way that the Lord revealed this to you, because we always seem like we're always talking about context and looking at things with the right context and stuff. And if worship is the key to seeing, and we kind of stay with that context theme, then it's kind of like things suck, let's say. Things are difficult. So what you really need to see is the goodness of God, but you can't. But that's what you need to see to be able to step through to the next thing. So if worship is the key to seeing that, then you have to go, okay, well, that doesn't make sense right now, but I need to worship.
Yeah. That's really
And
good.
that unlocks the ability to see the truth amidst the discouraging time. And that allows you to actually step into what God has for you. And that's what I feel like, this is what it's saying to me with being is, then I get to actually be the thing.
Yes.
Because without that context, though, I'm kind of like, adjacent to the thing, but I'm never really the thing. But I have to have the context of the truth that God's good to do that. In order to do that, I have to worship when it doesn't make sense to worship.
That's so good.
And so for me, what that means is kind of like what you were talking about, which is I have to carefully remind myself of all the things that God did, not because there's so few of them I got to remind myself, but because it's so easy for the enemy to kind of like, that doesn't really, and get very focused on all the negative things. And if you let that run its course, you do the opposite of this thing that you said, which is worship is the key to seeing.
Yeah.
But I guess the real answer is you have to do it on purpose.
Yeah.
You don't, it just doesn't, it isn't natural expression.
Good.
At least not for me.
Very good.
Yeah. I think that it is absolutely having extreme faith that, you know, he is the everything that I need. He's the provider. He's, you know, my protector. I'm speaking from my Nexus type, probably.
Maybe could be.
It's just, you know, that I'm just like seeing myself under, you know, his wings. And it's like, I just visualize myself as, you know, basically his subject.
Yeah.
And there is nothing else. There's nothing else. It's just him in this world. That's all that matters. And he is in everything that I do and that I think and that I say. And because we're designed to worship, and every single one of us, right? So we're going to worship something, and it's just making a purposeful choice every single day, in whatever situation, on purpose. I choose to worship you. And this is what you represent to me.
That's
wow,
awesome.
that's so awesome.
Good.
That is so good.
When Jesus was birthed in Luke 2, I love that the shift into a new season, if you will, was surrounded by worship. That's what happened with the shepherds in the field that night, is the angels showed up with them and they celebrated. And they sang, "Glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, and upon those whom his favor rests."
Right.
And I love that because often our celebration is actually making way for the thing that's about to break out,
Right.
or the thing we're birthing, or the things that God's birthing inside of us. And it's been said that Jesus sent his prophets in the Old Testament out ahead of him. And then when he came in the New Testament, it says he sent his disciples ahead of him everywhere he was about to go.
Yeah.
That's because Jesus walks on praised ground.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Talk to us about it.
Well, no, I was just thinking, you know, like it's the he walks on the praises of his people. And so if this is the case, then if we're praising and we are celebrating and we are worshiping, and it's through the words and the way that we praise that he enters into whatever situation.
Well, right. So so we better give him a solid ground.
Well, and yes, but at the same time, you know, like what you were saying, Prudence, there's this place of, okay, no matter what's going on in our lives, the chaos that is, you know, whatever is happening, the quick thing is to start saying, okay, who is God? What is, let's just describe Jesus. Let's verbally communicate about Jesus and talk about who he is and what he's done and how he does things. And as we do that, we're aligning ourselves, but we're creating this ground of praise.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden he's there.
Oh,
and he's like, hello.
Yes.
Right.
And it's just this, this alignment that happens, and this
so
amazing, like, what was that hard thing we were talking about? I mean, it's there, but there's peace now. That's entered the room.
That's really
on
good.
The praise.
If we could just get to a place where we're habitually believing this and being able to see it. What is worry?
Right.
Why do we need to worry about anything?
Yeah.
It would be nice to not feel that way, wouldn't
It's
it?
not that way for you.
If you're bombarded with attack, if you're bombarded with all kinds of enemy thoughts, or something that may be just getting you to just forget about worship, try it. Step out and worship, and you'll see that the more you're thanking God, praising God, you're so awesome, the more that you sort of crowd out all the negativity. Like, it can't stay around in worship. Worship and negativity kind of like they can't be in the same party. And so worship just has its own anointing. It was actually given to us as a gift by God, and saying, gosh, if you're getting hit right now with all kinds of enemy second heaven revelation, just start worshiping. I gave you that as a gift. It's like a breaking the alabaster box. The fragrance begins to fill the room and nothing else can stand in that room. It makes depression run. Yeah. It makes discouragement run. Just put your praise on. And I think that we've been doing praise so long in the church, we think it's just a couple songs before a great message. Yeah. We don't understand the power of when you crank on your favorite song while you're driving, knowing I'm doing this intentionally as warfare, because everything in me is shaking right now, but I'm going to turn it on and say, you're so awesome. I don't even feel like I believe this right now, but I know something's happening when I praise. I don't have to feel it. Mm-hmm. I can praise on this side of the Red Sea. I can praise on that side of the Red Sea. In Acts 16:25 through 31, not a part of the notes here, but when Paul and Silas had just been beaten for preaching the gospel and they were in prison at midnight, the darkest hour, all of a sudden they began to praise and give thanks. And suddenly there was a great earthquake and all the bands off their arms were loose, and the door on the hinges of the prison that they were in, not just for themselves, but for everyone around them. So what does your praise do for you? And what does your praise do to free the prison, those that are around you, when you praise at midnight in the darkest hour? Yeah.
Well, guys, this is awesome. You have to hear this message again. So definitely check out the link in the show notes for the full message, and let's get our praise on, people. Yeah. Let us just get in alignment with God and start talking about the goodness of God and see what happens in your life. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. For more of these types of shows and other amazing resources we have, check out our app, Eagle Mountain Ben, Eagle Mountain Space Ben. Eagle Space Mountain.
It's just 3 words. Eagle Mountain Ben.
Eagle Mountain Ben. There you go. Go to the app, get our app, Eagle Mountain Ben, and check out what else we have. And also financially give toward this. If you want to make an impact in someone else's life, that's the way to do it. Share this message.
Come on, that's right.
And then financially give so we can make more of these. Yeah. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Inside the Ark. We hope that you've been blessed by this program. If you'd like to discover other episodes of Inside the Ark, please visit eaglemountain.global. We'd also love for you to prayerfully consider supporting this and other programs available on Eagle Mountain TV. You can give to this ministry by visiting eaglemountain.global and clicking on the Give tab. We hope to see you in the next episode.